Hello everyone, this is Jeff from Mid-Atlantic Craps and welcome back to my YouTube channel. Don't be confused by the title of the video where it says 4's and 10's and how we make it, because the how we make it is how I make videos unedited. Let me explain. A couple weeks ago I had a subscriber communicate with me. We got talking through email and he didn't understand how I could make videos and not edit them. It's very simple. I'm going to show you in this video exactly how I make my videos, and you'll see mistakes and all, because I do make mistakes. Always check the description down below. Shift my fingers this way, down below, and you'll see sometimes that I catch my mistakes when I watch the video back before publishing it up to YouTube. I make math mistakes. I get comments from you guys that said, hey, you made a mistake. I go back to that video in the description, and sometimes I timestamp it on the YouTube side with a correction. That's not an edit through this editing video portion that I'm doing, because we all know that there are people who edit their videos, great YouTube contenters that are very good at editing software. I have the software. I use the software for other purposes with a couple of nonprofit organizations that I work with. I just like to be human, and you get what you see with me, unedited. Every video. Now, to do that, I'm just going to switch over here, and yes, I'm looking away because I have some software and stuff here that you're going to see in just a minute. I'm going to add this camera into the mix today. That camera will appear on that screen, and when I switch over to the full table screen, you will see that camera right there when we go through and talk about what we are doing. So, real quick, you see me switching back and forth between the cameras and the content here that's going on. All this is totally ad-lib. You just saw me stop for a second and think about what I was going to say. There's no scripting in here. There's no bullet points. There's no nothing. As a matter of fact, I'm going to show you that cam link in its entirety right here. Now, the audio dropped a bit, I believe, and I do have an issue because the technology that I'm using to, let me move this camera. The technology that I'm using from this camera through my system, going through a cam link, does something to the audio. My audio is not coming through the camera you're looking at. My audio is coming from right here, right here. There is a wireless mic right there. It's a Rode wireless mic. We'll get to that in just a little bit. So with that said, what I'm going to do is I'm going to walk around the studio and just kind of show you. I use the word studio. I didn't use the room where my craps table is. I call this a YouTube studio because, as you're going to see in a few minutes, it is a room, 10 by 8, a little cutout for the door, maybe a little bit more than that, 10 by 8. And if you've ever been to a television studio or you've been into a radio station, things don't appear how you think they're going to be, and that's exactly what this is. You've heard me say in previous videos that my table acts like a table, craps table, looks like a craps table. It's truly just a table I built that's movable, that's interchangeable, and it works for me. So what I'm going to do here, you're going to watch this. I'm going to go to a third camera, and this camera is actually going to come from this, my cell phone. Free software. You're going to hear me use the word free a lot today. Free software. The software that I'm streaming through that you can see back here on this monitor, that's OBS. It's coming off this computer here. It's all free. Computer's not free. The OBS software is free. So let me engage this software on my phone, and you're going to see what I'm talking about. All right. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to switch over to show you this screen. I just have to engage one thing, and you would see me out of this view while I was talking to you while I'm making changes to my program while I'm talking. A lot of people say, you talk a lot, Jeff. I'm talking a lot because I'm doing what I'm doing right here. So if I switch over to this camera, all right, now there you see it. There is this phone. I'm going to tilt it back towards that camera. Okay, that's that camera. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to start right about here, and I'm just going to scan my room. And you'll be able to see in all four cameras, or three cameras, I guess it would say, because the fourth camera is being covered up right now. So we're going to come through. That little hole in the wall used to be a cam I used to record my throws and how I was throwing. Let's just say an accident happened. I haven't fixed it yet. So that camera now is right up here, and I'm going to zoom in. You can see that camera at the bottom, okay? That camera, I always have the monitors on the cameras pointing back so I can make sure that they're still live. That light that you see there is a professional photography, videography light. I have a lot of friends that work in videography and photography, and I get a lot of hand-me-downs, sometimes for little to no cost. I also get the real good buys on used equipment, which we're going to talk about. Okay, now, you see some wires draped. Remember, we have some wires draped here. We have wires draped there. That is a trusty little camera I built out of PVC, very inexpensive. I think it cost me like 18 bucks to build versus a steel one that would have been, you know, somewhere between, I think it was $89 and $250 I was going to buy. That is some sounding board. The reason why the sounding board is there is because I stand right about here and my voice projects off of that. Okay, now let's take a look. Just scan around before we get to the table. You see some LED lights, and you notice that they're really not shining on the table, they're rebounding light. And then we come over to some more sounding board where I stand, and we've made the 360. We're back over to that view, which we're going to get to here in just a little bit. So I'm going to switch back around, and we're going to talk about the table real quick, because I promised you guys a table DIY video that I just haven't put together because it's still shots, so I'm kind of going to do it in this. And although I probably could put some still shots up here, I don't know how long this video is going to be. So with that said, I'm going to go ahead through it. Now, this is my table, guys. When you don't see that when I'm shooting my videos, there's my table. It's made with 2 sawhorses with 2x4s going this way, and then a 2x4 going this way across the table. Sorry about the focus. This is live. So from the floor to the underside of the table, which would be right here, that is 28 inches. Now, I have a throwing station over here that I didn't build. I bought this. We'll talk about that in a minute. It's 11.5 inches tall, and then you got to add another 3 inches for this. And if you take a look at the throwing station, it does look pretty good. And if we come down to the table, you can see there's the table view from down here. All right, now, with that said, you're going to see a couple things that I did build. And I built this little table shelf over here, or I call it chip rack. That I built more or less for a shelf to store things on. As you can see, I have things stored over there. But this right here, this is a 4-foot section of chip rack, and I ordered it that way. I didn't order it with the dividers in there. I do have a smaller one that is in that closet right there, along with a lot of other chips. So I want to tell you about how I did this. As you know, you've heard me say before, I just started practicing strategies on the kitchen table. I went to a throwing station, which this is the throwing station right here. That's the throwing station, backdrop and all. The layout, this is a new addition. The actual throwing station, I said this is the receiving station. I'm sorry, guys. I said this is the receiving station. I should have called it the throwing station. This is the throwing station, and then I have a bank. All the chips I already had. I bought with this turnkey package. I got 2 pucks. There's one here. There's one there, and I got the dice bowl and a couple sets of dice. But I picked up some other dice outside of that. So all of that I just pointed to. Came turnkey from a gentleman by the name of Donald Denny. He is on 10's. If you're familiar with the service, it's a service where people can make products and sell products, and he does very well with what he does. So I asked Donald to give me a turnkey package. I bought everything with the exception of this. This is new, only maybe a month and a half old, and I put the table together. The table base is 3/4 inch birchwood on this end. Hear that side? Now listen over here. There's a big difference because this has bounce to it. This does not. I can take this throwing station, move it in just a matter of seconds, and put it down here. The reason why I have this white board here is to give me some color balance off of the camera that you see that is always in the lower left-hand corner where I am throwing the dice. Now, this guy's right here is a 6-piece of gray shelving board. This little hole that's here had a camera in it at one time. You can actually see maybe some of the shadow where that camera sat. I did away with that real early. So I put this table together. It kind of looks like a crap table. There is a piece of the gray shelving board is here too, a smaller one. And that's what my table looks like. So guys, give Mr. Denny a call if you're looking to put a practice rig together. You don't have to go to this extent. He is reasonable on his prices, reasonable on his turnaround, and his work is excellent. I cannot speak for his excellence. So as I back out of my YouTube channel, and you always hear me talk about my dog Bailey in my videos. She is sitting here right here with me in the hallway, just listening, being a good girl. That is Bailey. So she'll probably walk back into the studio. Had to give her a shout out. All right, so we're going to come back in here, and now we're going to move over to what we're going to talk about with the software. So the software and the hardware, I should say. We're 10 minutes into the video. I don't have any schedule. I have no idea how long this is going to last, but let's go ahead and take a look. Okay, so this is the PC. All right, let me back up just one second to show you this. All right, so I have a lot of USB cables hanging out. Looks very unprofessional. If you've ever been into a TV studio or radio station, there's wires and cables everywhere. This piece here is a Elgato Cam Link that is actually running the Cam Link or the room cam that you are looking at in the lower right side of your screen at the moment. Now, what I have here is a Acer Predator 300 with the Planet 9 gaming software on it. And let me tell you what the key to this is. This was expensive because I had an old HP that would record videos, but I couldn't stream. So here's the two keys if you're going to stream live, and a good portion of something you'll need if you want to record good videos with no lag. If you don't know what lag is, trust me, when you start, you'll know what it is. So I'm running this Acer Predator gaming computer. It's a Core i7 Intel processor, and here's the key. It is running a NVIDIA video card, and that is the key to streaming at high frame rates, which you don't need for YouTube or Facebook, and also it creates the lag when you're producing the videos, doing a lot of the transitions. It's a key. You can use any computer with OBS. It's free. You just can't add some of the bells and whistles because it starts powering down the CPU usage of the computer. Sorry about that, guys. See, this is live. So what I'm going to show you here is that screen that you see right there. That's a remote view of this software right here. Guys, this is OBS software, and I am going to go ahead and switch over and show you just what I want to show you. All right, so switch that. Preview screen, program screen. Program means what's being recorded or what's going out live over YouTube. And as you see down here, we are not streaming live on YouTube. We are recording 12 minutes in. Troy over at 0.7 out would love to see that CPU usage at 8.4, and I am recording currently at 30 frames per second. If that doesn't mean anything to you guys, don't worry about it. This little stat window here keeps most YouTubers who stream live up to date on what they're doing. It's all part of the program. It's all part of the module. So, how I have this set up, scenes, sources, the audio, as you see, my audio is going up and down. We'll talk about that in a second. The transitions, don't worry about. The controls, you don't necessarily have to worry about. And just the two screens. So, one of the things that I can do on my program here is, let me switch over to this table. All I got to do is just hit a quick key, and that'll come up. Is I have a module running that's extra. It's free, doesn't cost you anything, where I run my lower thirds. And guys, what happens is typically when I'm entering into the roll tracker, I come over here and click that button, and what you see is what you're seeing on your screen right now. That lower thirds will come up. If I have a guest with me, sometimes I have guests with me. I have a couple of those pre-programmed. My good buddy Skill and Luck, who is a YouTuber. There we go, Skill and Luck, craps YouTuber. If I do some stuff with him, I can put him up in lower thirds, or I use that for an introduction. And I am going to have to kill the my cam link just for a second so that this will fit up there. And notice what I'm doing here, guys. I can switch with just talking to you. My cam link disappeared because I have one more lower thirds that is projected. And this is when I'm running a strategy. As you know, I've been doing the whale and stuff, and that was the what I call lower thirds. I centered it as a banner for 4, 5, 9, and 10 Wayland's outside. And that's how simple it is as I'm talking as we go through this. Now, to add that cam link back, if you can see my mouse right here, I just click that. I can come up here with my mouse here, or I have hotkeys on my button. Pay attention to your screen, and you probably didn't see any of that because I didn't have that up. In any event, let's switch back over and I can show you what I did. Sorry about that, guys. All right, so what I was doing there is I was adjusting and clicking off cam links. This is preview, and I turn that off, my cam link disappears. I do a transition over, cam link disappears. I bring that back up while I'm talking to you. You have no idea I am doing this while I'm talking live. I bring it back and my cam link flies back in. So with that said, that's how easy it is to move things. And I do have some hotkeys here programmed on my, you cannot see that. Let me switch that. Okay, here we go. I do have some hotkeys programmed on my keyboard to be able to go back and forth. This is going to slide. It takes the change of the screen, and I'm gone. And this is going to slide back the other way. Just real quick hotkeys that I have set up. But I can also use my mouse and click those too. It depends on where I'm standing. If I'm standing like this, looking at you, then I can just do the hotkeys and stuff like that. So OBS is free. The latest version is, let's take a look. It's 27.1.3. I have mine set up to update automatically. Some people say they have problems with that. But in any event, how the screen is set up is very simple. You're looking at preview, program. This is what you're seeing right now. This is what I'm seeing. So if you look in my finger inside, this is me, and I'll back away because there's two more things I want to talk about. One is this little device right here, which is an Elgato Stream Deck, and because of the lighting, it's not going to show up. Let me see if I can do something with that lighting. Just one second. Hopefully you don't see my big head. That might help with the lighting. It may have. All right, so this screen is the same icons that you would see on your desktop computer. Now, how I have this set up just starts my main software. If I go to my KPI roll tracker, that's where I enter all my rolls. Here's your hard ways. I just click that button to go back. I do have other screens set up, such as what we're using now. This red button is lit up because we're currently recording. This is my Mac opener. This is where I would go, and this is a video on the 4's and 10's, so we're going to get right to it. Right to it. Okay, you saw the little delay there is because I actually didn't touch the button. I actually didn't touch that button is why the delay was there. But if I want to switch real quick back, I have all these hotkeys right here. All the hotkeys are right here, are ready to go with no problem. Now, with that said, there's a couple other screens on here. I can bring up my main Mac opener just by pushing these buttons. Let me go back so you can see I can push that button. I actually pushed that main Mac opener there. It came back into preview. I don't want preview. I want my table view to come up, or maybe I want my cam link to come up. This is where I'm standing recording this, as you see in the lower right side of the program. So the last piece of equipment I want to show, and I do want to show this to my tech guys. I have buttons set up for my CPU usage, currently at 27%, been doing a lot of switching. This button right here is my internet connection, currently pinging at 18 milliseconds. I have download speed, which is disappointing, at 110 megs, and my upload speed is at 13.4 megs currently at the moment of that. So I'll retest that. I'll just start pushing that button. It'll come back up with a retest. I like that because I like to be able to see where my computer is performing. All right, the last piece of equipment. This is my receiver on my Rhodes wireless mic. You can see the VU meter going up and down. This is the ATM Mini Pro. You do not need this. I'm bringing in two high-quality sources of HDMI video directly into this machine. I am able to, let me go up here just one second. Pay attention to your screen. I'm going to do away with my IP cam just one second. All right. I can turn on that cam in the bottom corner that you see me do just by the click of that button. That lower cam is built into this machine. Guys, you don't need to have of that machine in order to be able to do what I'm doing here. You just need OBS, a computer, and a camera, or even less, your cell phone to get on YouTube to record videos. So I think that takes care of all the equipment. This back here is a Samsung 2 terabyte hard drive for backups of your videos. I also do them in my Dropbox. Guys, if you put a video up on YouTube and you bring the video down, the video never goes away. YouTube keeps it forever. Just remember that. So I'm going to disengage. You're going to see how I disengage that. Now, when I do the transition, boom, over to the program view. And I can actually go ahead, let me switch to my cam link. I can actually go ahead And you can see that's what I was using. I'm actually going to go ahead, and there's my dog. One more shot. Good girl. Good girl. Here you go. Ready? And she misses it on cue as normal. All right. Anyway, I'm going to go ahead and turn my phone off, and we're not going to use that, I don't believe, anymore. 20 minutes into the video, I think this is going along pretty good. This was a video on 4's and 10's, and I just did realize there was one more thing I wanted to use the camera for, but I may be able to do it doing it this way. So let me just make a couple changes here to my video. You know what? It's probably better that I show you from a screen standpoint, close-up screen. So what I can do is I can just re-engage the software, wait for it to get live. It just came live, guys. All right, it's live. And as soon as I'm going to add the software right there, or this camera, not the software, this camera back in. I'm going to add that back in. It pops up. I hit my transition. It flies in. We're ready to go. Okay, I'm not going to show you a whole lot about this particular software because it's not mine, but this is the KPI roll tracker. When you hear me say I'm going to engage the shooter, I always come over here and start that. I am going to then come over here. Thank you. I'm then going to come over here when I'm talking to you, which you're going to see in just a few minutes. I have my KPI roll tracker. Everybody pay attention to the top of the screen. I'm going to enter a 2. 2 comes up. Yes, sorry about that. A 2 came up. That was my fault on that side. All right, followed by a 6, which we create the point, followed by a 5, and let's say they 7 out. All right. And that's how the roll tracker works. Now, what I also wanted to show you is you see in the background here, you see this? This is really my software that I'm bringing a browser window in, the browser window into OBS. One of the things I'm going to show you now that I don't think that I need this anymore, making sure I'm right. Yep, I don't need this anymore. Get back over to my view of how I want to be. As you see, I can switch that. I don't have to touch the computer. I don't have to touch any keyboards. I can hover my mouse over and simply switch between the next scene that I want to run. And where I want to run is that scene we're going to be coming up on next. So with that said, we are actually going to disengage the, see that? It's gone. It's back. It's gone. Oops. It's gone. It's back. We're going to get rid of that screen, and I now can put my phone down. All right, so now let's hope I've done that right this time. I think that's everything I wanted to show you. There is some software I want to talk about real quick. If you're going to do this, there's a lot of things that's free. A lot of things that you can purchase and have for free. OBS is free. The plugins that come with that are free. It's open source project. It's free. Wonderful programmers out there that have been doing OBS. I don't know how long it's been out. We're on version 27. When I started, I think it was down to about 24, and we're up to version 27 dot something. There are some elements in here that you do have to subscribe. Some of you might be using a service called StreamYards with your OBS. You don't have to. Some of you might be using Stream Elements, but OBS is free for Windows 10 or Windows, for Linux, and it's also free for iOS. Now, with iOS, they have their own proprietary broadcasting software that's very similar. It's called Ecamm, and they have editing software. I believe it's called First Cut. I don't use iOS, so I'm not that familiar with it. With this, if I was going to edit some videos, there is software built into my Elgato Stream Deck that I could push that's called DaVinci Resolve. DaVinci Resolve, free. Free editing software. Top-notch movie-making quality editing software. Free. It is a maker of the ATEM Blackmagic. It is their product, but it's free. Some of the plugins that I use and some of the bells and whistles that I've gone out and got, such as my opener, that where you see it come in with that, you know, proud member of Craps Nation spinning around. Hello, let's get to it. I think that cost me $9. I'm not sure which service I use, so I'm not going to specifically mention that. I want to get to the rolls before the 30-minute mark. So I just want to let you know that if you wanted to do this, you don't have to go to this complexity. Yeah, it would be nice to have a throwing station. And you see some guys, there's some people that just have a 4-foot table setting that they bring out, sit on their coffee table or their kitchen table and they roll stuff and they plop a camera up over top of it and they record. There's some people that have some really nice, well-built, actual craps tables in their houses. I don't have room in mine, that they roll out and they set up a iPhone or an Android phone at the end on a tripod and they record their videos. There's nothing wrong with that. Absolutely nothing wrong with that at all. People that bring content that go through the just got a new subscriber. Michael, if you're watching this, thank you for subscribing. That was a ding-a-ling. Shame that didn't come in just a minute ago when I had the screen up there. What I was saying, go back to how people are streaming. There are wonderful YouTubers out here that have excellent content creating skills. The perfect example is the Craps Powerhouse YouTube channel, Jeremy over at Color Up. He has a video out that you can watch, and he's an iOS person, an Apple person, and he shows you how he edits his videos. He is wonderful at that, great at that. He's a great presenter, has great presence on screen. John at ProCraps, great presence on screen. You take me, I get excited over some rolls sometimes, and I get a comment saying, hey, it sounds like you're having fun. Are you drinking? Guys, I don't drink. However you decide, I'm looking at the time, however you decide to do what you want to do, you don't have to go to this extreme. And by saying that, let me switch back over to this screen. And those cameras are always going to stay in place, the eCam, when I come over here, as I would be switching back and forth between. Let's head over to the table. You're going to continue to see this cam. It's going to be in the way. And you would still see my hand down here in the throwing station. That's how close I am to all of my equipment. So the audio problem when I'm on the full page cam link, there isn't a whole lot I can do about that. There is a technical issue that is above my skills at the moment, and I haven't had time to actually look at that and decide what it is that I am going to try to do to fix it. So the last thing I'm going to talk about is what happens when I come in here and I am going to do a video. I would turn on the lights, I'd turn on all the cameras, and one more time over to the cam link, I would come over here and I would set up my table, and on my table view, which you can't see at the moment on this screen, I come over and I grab a rack and I come over and I put the chips in, whether I'm starting with 600 or 500. I take my dice, I take my rake, I take my puck, I put the chips out there, and that's typically how it is set up. Now in this view, you can see everything that's there. You can see the chips. This is my opening view that you see all the time, with the exception of the two cameras on the right. That's how my opening is. I try to keep my openings and my closings consistent. Now, I just did notice something before I would go live with this, that I don't like that view. I'm going to walk out of camera view here. I don't like that view of my camera in the upper left-hand corner of the table. So I can do this to get rid of that little space that I didn't like. That little space right there where you see the top of the edge of the shelving board. So I'm going to take that out, and I think that should probably be good. That, guys, is a remote that comes with the camera over top of this table. $149 on Amazon. Delivered the next day, by the way. All right, so now we're back over here, and I'm going to set up my screen so that it would look like I would start out. And let me just show you the table screen. I want to do one more thing here. I am going to have to, all right, as you see here, you can see the chips and stuff. That would be the normal view. When I add the room cam back to the view, you're not going to be able to see the chips. So what I'm going to do is, like I do when I run my comparison videos, I am going to come over here and I am going to set these down so that we can keep the chip rack right there and you can see it in full view. That's something just a little bit different, but otherwise my videos would be set up that way. So here's what happens. I come over here, got everything set up, ready to go, know the process I'm going to go through, typically have talked about my strategy, about what I'm going to run. I may have rolled it out, days in advance, or on my phone app. I have a phone app that we can use. I may have rolled it out on that. I may have used the WinCraps. All these tools are great. I didn't mention Bone Tracker. With Bone Tracker, you can record your throws. And I do, when you hear me say I'm setting the dice at 3, 5, 3, 1, and I repeat that, it's for my purposes on the cam link that's running on a different channel. This camera right here is recording how I'm throwing and releasing. It's usually pointed that way a little farther. It's recording how I am releasing my throws, and I'm recording on Bone Tracker exactly what I'm doing. So plenty of free tools out there, guys. Bone Tracker, it doesn't cost you anything. WinCraps is a window-based software that you can run strategies. You can put it in super hyperlink or mode, super hyper mode, whatever it's called, and you can run, you know, an hour's worth of stuff in just a few seconds to see if your strategy really works. I use all those tools, but this is the best way to get good at strategies and making sure that the math is right, making sure you're getting paid right. This is the best way that I have found to do it, is doing it at home. Not all this stuff, not all this stuff that you see behind me. All this stuff isn't specifically necessary. A throwing station is great. You don't have to go to this extent. This has turned into a really nice hobby for me, and I'm ready to move on and start recording videos. First of all, I started recording my throws. Actually just started recording my throws, and then it kind of migrated into to this. Hey, it's a hobby, expensive one, but I enjoy doing what I'm doing. I'm nearing retirement, so I'm going to have a lot more time. I am building another YouTube studio in another room. It is going to be, I'm hoping to be able to get it to the 12-foot level on the table. I don't know that I'm going to, but I want to be able to get on both sides of the table, and in this room I cannot. All right, so let's go. We're past the 30-minute mark. Here's how I would set things up, guys. I would set the screen up so that it would look something like this. You wouldn't see me. You wouldn't see me. Sorry, I pushed the wrong button. See, it's live. You wouldn't see me, and then typically I would say, hey, welcome to my YouTube channel. I'm Jeff from Mid-Atlantic. You would see that fly in. What I'm going to do at the same time is I'm going to have both of these fly in as I do that, and that's how we do what we're doing. So with that said, we're going to get set up, and we're going to play the 4's and 10's, and this is how I do it. Some reason that song, "This Is How We Do It," just came to my mind. All right, guys, here we go. So everything's set up, chip set up, table set up, dogs out of the room, and we go 3, 2, I don't count down. Don't count down. 3, 2, 1. Hello, everyone. This is Jeff from Mid-Atlantic Craps, and welcome back to my YouTube channel. Today, we're going to be doing a strategy called 4's and 10's and how we make it. Don't let that video confuse you, because we are going to roll out a strategy on 4's and 10's. We are going to include the making of this video as part of what we're doing. Hence the how we do it, how we make it, sorry. See, I'll ad-lib. So the 4 and 10 strategy we're going to get to right now, and I chose the 4 and 10 strategy because it wouldn't require too much table change on the table, and we probably are not going to win a lot of money, but I'm going to play the 4 and 10 strategy. I do have that coming up later on in the next couple of weeks with a twist. A lot of YouTubers out there are doing the 4 and 10 strategy, parlaying it. Andrew Craps Down Under had a good video out yesterday on it. There are a couple different twists going into the 4 and 10, and we're just going to play the 4 and 10 just for the sake of this video. I don't expect to win. If we do, because it's light-sided strategy, yay for us, okay? That'll work for us. As you know, I am a primarily dark side player and a hybrid player. So without further ado, we will go ahead and get right to it. Okay, so now we're back in the YouTube studio, and I'm going to move over here to the table. And guys, this is where you would see me do these things that you don't see on camera. And I'm going to kind of like switch back and forth between narrating what I do when I record the videos and actually record a video. So now I would say, now we're going to switch back over here to the YouTube, to the table. And right now, we're going to start with $1,000. This is going to be a 4 and 10 strategy, and we're going to come out, and we're always going to buy the 4 and the 10. Come down here, let me get a laminar. I'm just going to place it on one. We're always going to buy the 4 and the 10. It's going to cost us $1, and we're going to go through at least three shooters. 2 will be random, and I'll roll the dice on the last one. So, yes, I know I have to buy them. When it's my turn to shoot, I'll have to have a pass line. We'll talk about that when we get there. So, let's get this thing started. Wow, we have 4 of a kind, guys. You actually saw me roll that out. 4 of a kind with the highest dice out there. I always say that. It really doesn't matter, guys. I just like the fact that I'm a poker player as well, and got my roots in gambling, basically in poker. I play no slots in the casino. I do play other table games. So this is going to be a random roller. We need to establish a point before we buy those 4 and 10. Those are just out there. We have not bought them yet. They're not in play, so they're not on. Now, at this point, this is when you always hear me say, let me engage the roll tracker. I come over to my roll tracker. You can see me in my cam here. I'm going to engage the roll tracker numbers, and I come down here and I just say, okay, this is going to be a chicken feeder. Dice are out. And we have a come out 7. Doesn't hurt us, doesn't help us. They weren't on. They were out there for strategy purposes of talking about what we're going to do. So I reach back here. I enter the 7. It's going to show up in green and say it was a natural. Come out 7. All right. If I was on the don't pass, I would have lost money. On the pass, I would have made a little bit of money. Dice are out. And we have a 4-2-6. Okay, so the point is going to be a 4-2-6. All right. Typically, I come over here and I plop that down. I talk about what we're going to do. So it's a 4-2-6. We got to buy the 4 and the 10. There's our $2. Those bets are now live. I take the chips off the table. I pick the dice up and look at them to make sure. I turn and I look at my roll tracker. Notice I haven't put it in there. I'll push the 6 as I walk back over. The 6 is appearing. And I say, okay, random roller, dice are out. And there's a 4-1-5. Doesn't help us. Remember, we're on a 4-10 strategy. With the 4-10 strategy, we have, watch me pick the dice up and turn and walk and talk at the same time. 4 and 10 strategy, we have 6 ways to win and 6 ways to lose, but we also have 30 other ways to wait to get paid. But let's see what happens. Dice are out. Now with this strategy, guys, I don't want you to think that I want you to play this in the casino, because that's not it. It's here for showing you how I shoot my videos unedited. All right, there's an acey-deucey, 3 craps. Grab the dice, walk over, push the 3, come back and say, all right, random shooter, dice are out. Oh, we got a hard 4. We're going to get paid. Paid before that terrible blank out, and insert a number in the blank. All right, so we're going to get paid 50 for $1. 50 for $1. So we take the $1 off. And here's how I'm going to play the strategy today. I'm going to put the, we just made our $50 back, so we're even. So now we're going to have $10 invested. And if you wanted to, you could pick up the 5 and 9 for a 30 more, so you would have $40 invested. But it's not the strategy. Once again, this strategy is not a strategy. It's for the purposes of editing, showing you that I don't edit my videos. Come over here. Now I have to make one extra button move to get to the hard 4 before the hard 4 shows up. I come back over here and I say, okay, shooter, come on. Dice are out. And there's a 4-2-6. Perfect. Man, this roll's really going good. Light-sided at that. 4-2-6. That's going to pay us $35. This time I'm going to come over and I'm going to push the 6. And I'm going to come down here and throw the 35 down. You guys don't even know that that takes place in the background as I'm shooting this video. Now, with this $35, we're up. Because if we pulled everything down, we would be up. But what do we want to do? Do we want to spread out? Do we want to try to get another hit? I would like to collect a little bit of money here to reduce that exposure. This is just me. Most of you probably would have caught the 5 and the 9. Let's see what takes place. Check the 6 is entered. That was the point. See, there is a mistake. There is a mistake that I made. So this puck would come off, and I caught that mistake, guys, when I looked up and noticed that on my roll tracker, the point wasn't set and the number 6 changed to green, which means that it was a point hit. All right, frontline winner. That's what I would say. Let's go ahead. Try and establish a point. Everything up there is off. We're not on the come out. Come out. And there's a 4. We should have been on. 3-4. All right. 3-1-4. We missed an opportunity to get that because, as you know, there's only 3 ways to hit the 4. So the point's going to be a 4. All right. Make sure I enter the 4. The 4's moved to the point on the KPI roll tracker. I set my puck on the 4. All right. Dice are out. And there's, oh, wow. Back-to-back 4s, except this time it's a hard 4, so we are going to get paid. I like this so far. I typically don't have this luck on this side. All right. There's 50 for $1. We now have raked in $35, and 50 is 85. We have only $10 exposed because we already made it back. It's time now to regress And let's come 66 inside. We have got more than 66 inside. Guys, you are now ahead on this shooter. It's taken us a few rolls to get there, and as I would be talking to you while I was doing this, I would be saying things about, you know, how many times the rolls were. I would go back and talk about this could be the roll that we're waiting for. I would walk back over here talking to you while I'm holding the dice, enter the hard 4, and take a look at the fact that that was the roller's 8th roll. This is coming up on the 9th roll. Guys, we all know what the average of the blank out is. It's coming. It always will come, no matter how you... what confidence you have in your ability to throw the dice. And you hear me say many times, I'm not a dice influencer or a dice controller. I consider myself a rhythm roller when I am rolling the dice. In this case, it's random. Dice are out. And there's a 6-2-8. Perfect. All right, we're going to get paid some more. We're ahead on the shooter. In this case, we are going to make $21. And you know me, when I get to this point, especially with the foundation built, I like to always be collecting. We hit the 8, so we're not going to take that. We're going to take the 6. And for some reason, don't ask me why, I always want to press the opposite side of what I would call the companion number, sister numbers. These are sister numbers, sister numbers, sister numbers. So we're going to push up the 5. We haven't had the 5 or the 9. I'm going to rack the 10. I pick up the dice, holding it, looking at the 8, making sure, oops, I didn't put the 8 in. I put the 8 in. I roll back over. All right, random shooter, come on, you can do it. Dice are out. Craps 3. AC doocy. Doesn't help us. Doesn't help us. I grab the dice, swing around, push the 3. All right, dice are out. And there's a 10. Wow, we have got paid on the 4 and the 10. If I'm not mistaken, that's the first 10, but I think we've hit the 4 3 times. We can check the KPI in just a second. I would say those kind of comments. All right, $10. Oops, I have no 1, so I have to make change. All right, 50 for 1. Now, with that $50, we can go ahead and probably, I would go a full press all the way across, oops, at this point, because we won 50. So, I'm going to full press it. Probably should bring, I should bring the 9 up to 25, but I'm not. But how it's set up, 25, 24, where's your 30 there? Yep. Yeah, that's 30. I thought it should be. See, I make these mistakes. That is not 30. Oh, we didn't press the sister station. These are at the green level, so let's go ahead and make that out. The dealer would do that for us. That'll keep us from being confused. All right, so, and this is at 24 and this is at 20. Remember, I didn't press the 8 or the 9 a little while ago when we did that one press. So, those kind of, I wouldn't call that a mistake when I'm recording. I would call that just a correction of what happens. And coloring up the green chips does help me with my math. All right, I'm holding the dice in my hand as a 10. The 10's not entered. I enter the 10. This random shooter appears to be hot. The dice are out. And there's a 3-2-5. Excellent. We're going to get paid $35. What are we going to do? We are going to press the opposite side. So we're going to bring both of these up to the $30 level, or the green chip level. I shouldn't say $30 level. All right, that's going to replace that. Rack that. Take that down. Now we have 110 on the inside with the 4 and the 10. We have 160 out there. We have not made 160, but if you look at our rack over here, guys, you can see that we are above $1,000. We have probably got about $100 up. Counting that 160, that's 260. 20% of 1,000 is at 200. We're at a 20% win if we were to take that down and go. But what do light-sided players do? They leave it up until the blank out comes. I will regress here in a couple more hits. Holding the dice in my hand, realizing I haven't put the 5 in, I enter the 5, and dice are out. 4-1-5, 4-1-5. Boy, if we have 3 long rolls like this, this video is going to be super long. I played the 4 and 10 strategy because I didn't think it would be that long for this video of showing you how I don't edit my videos. All right. $35 on the 5. How are we going to press this? So I like collecting. He's coming close. This is a time when I would come back over here and I'll go ahead and enter the 5. I don't know if I did it again. I would say, wow, this shooter has got 13 rolls. This is going to be his 14th roll. Do we want to risk the press? Let's do a mini press. Let's just press the inside. That's going to save us $10. So we're going to take the 6 and the 8 up to 36. We're going to rack the quarter. And we're going to say, all right, shooter, hot shooter here. The dice are out. And there's a 4-2-6. Wow. Wow. I'm actually having fun at this, guys, because typically it's not like this. All right. So we're going to get paid $35. We're going to press the 5 and the 9. Going to rack the quarter. Pick up the dice, looking at them as a 6. Come over, realize I haven't put the 6 in. Punch the 6 in. Come back over and I say, okay, shooter. We've got a hot shooter. Dice are out. And there's a 6. There is a 4-2-6, easy 6. All right, with that, we are going to get paid $42. All right, and now I think that the shooter is close to being to the blank out. I say we err on the side of caution because we don't have deep pockets. We can't afford to keep pressing it up, and I realize some of you are going to get mad at me at this, but guys, I am going to come down to the table minimums. Do not fuss at me and put in there that was a dumb move. This is videos being shot for the purposes of showing you how I don't edit my videos. And here I was talking about I was using the 4 and 10 because I wanted to be able to not have a lot of change and motion out here to get the video over fast enough, because some YouTubers tell me that your video is too long. People don't watch them, and I'm here to tell you that that may be right in some instances, but guys, I only have 340 some subscribers on my channel, and I'm already at the channel view. So I believe I put the 6 in, and this will give me time to take a break right here and be able to do this. This is where I would say something like, guys, if you haven't yet, I appreciate if you would click that red subscribe button, ring that bell, and for future notifications, and if you can, give me a thumbs up. Now, with that said, real quick, let me switch over and take a look at something. We're pausing on the video content at the moment while I show you something while we talk about subscribers. All right, so I'm going to switch over here to this screen. All right, this is my YouTube backend screen, and I know we had a subscriber come in while we were talking. Let's just go ahead and click the refresh button and see what happens. Oh, wow, we grew by, was that 44? We grew by 4 subscribers while I was recording this video. This shows me the analytics standpoint. You can do a lot on the back end of the dashboard. I just did it for the subscribership. I didn't realize, I knew we were going to grow by 1, but I didn't know that we were going to grow by that many. As you can see up here, it says 10,000 views. That's not a lot for a small channel. It is a lot because that's the last 28 days of 28 days of the last counting, tallying, whatever you want to call it, on YouTube. All right, we entered the 6. We're going to continue on. Here comes the 16th roll. We really want this shooter to continue. We've dropped back down to table minimums. We've made money on this table. I mean, on the shooter. Dice are out. Oh, we hit a hard 4. Oh my gosh, hard 4. I'm really having fun with this strategy, guys. This is when you hear my excitement in my voice because, you know, I'm actually really enjoying doing what I'm doing here. It's 50 for 1. We are going to do a full press. That makes us 20 some dollars, 50 from 22. So you can see that we are making $28. We're taking this all up. This will be at the 4 unit level all the way across the inside. You're probably saying, why don't you up your 4 and 10 because you're hitting them? Because I'm not going to. All right, come over, make sure I didn't enter the hard 4. I come over and I enter the hard 4. And dice are out. Easy 4. Holy cow, I am talking that up. Guys, this 4 and 10 strategy, I hope when I get to doing this strategy, it will really run this way because I do have some twists for my 4 and 10 strategy coming up. Before that, we get paid 50. Before that, we're just going to press the 6 and the 8 because the blank out is coming. This is 30 on here, guys. On the 6 and 8, It's 20 on the 5 and 9. I have, before I run this 4 and 10 strategy, I do have another strategy to do, actually two to do, two strategies to do. Notice how I made that switch. 2 strategies to do for Waylon, and he keeps giving me nuances to the strategy that he wants me to run. Anyway, back to the table. So we've entered the 4, coming up on the 18th roll. We know that by the roll tracker. Dice are out. And there's a 3-2-5. Okay, that's going to pay us $28. 28. We're going to take that in green and white, and I'm going to rack this, guys, because I know he's got to be close. And if this goes into a really long roll, hey, you know, so be it. It goes into a really long roll. All right, and the dice are out. See that? My roll tracker messed up, and this is when you don't see me do this. All right, and the dice are out. 5-1-6. We have 30 on it. It's going to pay us $35. Guys, what are we going to do here? This first shooter is hot. $35. Let's go ahead and trade this out because it looks like this was 30 to begin with, guys. So we're going to trade that out. Bring our chips back over here. On these two, there's our 35 that we won. Let's go ahead and take the 5 and the 9 up to the green level. We're back to 110 inside. We've done this twice. We're going to run this up. This is what I'm going to do. This is as I would formulate if I was playing this live. I'm going to formulate, add this up. We're going to get to the point where we are getting 50 for 1 on every one of these before we regress. If we don't get there, it doesn't matter. We have already, enter the 6, we have already won. We're at our 20 to 30% win rate on this one shooter playing the 4 and 10. Dice are out, because this is a long roll that you always wait for. There is a, come here, there is a 4-1-5, $35, okay, 35. We're going to use 22 of that and take these up, rack the quarter. So now we are at 6 units on the inside. 6 units on the inside. Grab the dice. This is something you don't see me do. Make sure I enter the 5. And the dice are out. Sorry for the length of the video, guys. I really didn't expect it to go this long. Wow, there is a 4-2-6. I am honestly just picking these dice up and just throwing them right down the table. That's going to win us $42. And we're going to full press again. I'm going to enter the 6 now. So as I come over to you and I would say something along the lines, man, this shooter is really hot. We cannot, and had I not regressed before, look where we would have been. So we're going to press everything up. What did I do wrong there? Should be, that's 30, 36. Oh, you know what? I think I paid myself wrong. Okay, somebody in the comments is going to put the fact that I did pay myself wrong. 1, 2, there we go. All right. In any event, guys, you get what's happening. I would actually probably correct that in the description. The description below is where I would correct that. All right. So, was that a 6? Did I put that in there already? It was a 6, and I'm going to assume I put it in there. Wow, 22 rolls. This is the 22nd roll. Dice are out. 11. Haven't seen too many horn numbers. All right, that doesn't help us, doesn't hurt us. I reach back here. Okay, dice are out. And there's a 10. Oh my goodness. You know what, guys? We may not get the 3 shooters in this video because I think you get the idea about how I function here and record my videos. Let me take a look at the time real quick. We are pushing 53 minutes. We are probably not, this is going to be the only shooter. I can't believe this happened. Anyway, so we're going to get 50 for 1. Oops, 1 down here. 50 for $1. How are we going to press? We're going to take this to 40. 40, and make sure that my numbers are right. This should be now at 48. It is. Wow. We are actually higher than what I said I was going to do. Wow. How about that? Okay, that was a 10. Rack this. Come over to the 10. Now at this point, this would be one of these times that I look at the 10 and I come over, I just take a look at some of the other statistics that are going on here just to make sure that I am right with where I'm supposed to be. Okay, so I would be talking while I'm doing this. I'd be out of view from you, just looking at a couple things here that I want to see, just to make sure that I am right. All right, so somehow we got ahead, and I'm looking back at the roll tracker. We got ahead on the 6s and the 8s, and I don't remember. I may have paid myself wrong. But in any event, the 10 is entered. Okay, guys, chicken feeder, dice are out. And there's a 6, 3, 9. It's probably the first 9 we hit. Let's enjoy this together. Is that shouldn't, oh, we don't have a 12, and we don't have a deuce. I thought we might have hit the all, tall, small. So we enter the 9. That is going to pay us 50 for 1. All right, we're going to get paid $50 for 1. And I told you that when we got to this level, I would start backing this down. I'm going to take the 9 back to its original, 15. Every time we hit a number, I'm going to back it back down instead of all automatic regression. All right, dice are out. There's a hard 10. 10. All right, wow. That is going to be 50 for 1. I do not come down on my 4s and 10s because that's what this strategy is. We're going to get paid 50 for 1. We're just going to collect the whole thing. We're not doing any more pressing. As we press, we're going to regress down and then work our way back up. Hard 10 is entered. And the dice are out. Sorry for the length of the video. I really thought we'd get 3 shooters in. 3, 2, 5. 3, 2, 5. But I think this will illustrate exactly what it is I do while I'm here. That's going to be 50 for 1. 50 for 1. Okay, just going to rack that. Bring this back down to the minimum table level. We didn't enter the 5. And the dice are out. Random shooter. There's a 9. 6, 3, 9. All right, it's going to be $21. We are not pressing anymore because we're regressing down. I know a lot of you are going to say, well, you're crazy. The shooter is hot. Guys, we know he's going to end. We know that this shooter is going to end at some point. He's not that far away. All right, if this continues, we're both going to say, wow, we watched a really great random roll. Dice are out. 4. Oh my gosh. 3, 1, 4. I'm actually laughing at myself because this never happens to me. 3, 1, 4. We're going to get paid 50 for 1. Once again, we're not pressing. We are just collecting because we are. We know it's coming, guys. We know it is. All right. Dice are out. And another 4, back-to-back 3, 1, 4s. Boy, if I was playing the dark and I was laying the 4 or had a big bet on the don't on the 4s and the 10s, I would be crushed in this rollout. This is coming up on his 30th roll. This will be the 30th random roll with 1 point hit. Let's take a look at the roll tracker. Yep, we have 2 points hit. 2 point hit and 1 come out 7, correct? Yep, that's what we've had during this roll. Dice are out. Hard, I got ready to say hard 12. Somebody said that during live fantasy craps last Sunday. We all busted out laughing. There's midnight, boxcars, 12. All right, does that catch us? Let's watch the roll tracker together, guys. As I enter the 12, you're going to see the tall was made. Boom, that's how the roll tracker works. You can see that the tall was made. That's the 12. We don't have anything on it. Dice are out. And finally, this video will come to an end. And when you know I say that, guys, that means I've hit the 4 and the 3, and that's going to be a 7 out. Now, in my video, you'll see the whole thing change. In my video, I come over, and I will say, okay, let's go ahead and bring these in. Chunk the puck there, throw the dice out of the view of the camera, and we'll take the chips down. I place them up here, which I'll show you where I do when I'm shooting the video, just so that I don't have to go back to the bank each time. Then I would say, okay, let's see where we stand. All right, guys, we know we're going to be up. One shooter. You would see me go out of view. I'd come over here. Look at this, guys. 31 rolls, and actually that is 32 rolls because the 7 out doesn't count. the 7 out does not count during this roll. So I would say something along the lines of, look at that SOR. Wow. One roller, it would be that high, so we're really not going to talk about that. We could go on the shooter too. We are just getting ready to hit the minute mark, so I am not going to do that. Now, let's go ahead and count up these chips. Guys, did you notice how that lower thirds just came up? I clicked that while I was looking at the roll tracker, and you didn't even know. Let's count this up. 1, 2, 3, 4. 2, 3, 4. All right, we'll set these aside because I know this is 1,000. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. All right, there's our initial $1,000 on this one roll, playing a 4 and 10. Think about the numbers we missed before we got established to come up. Wow, we could have really made some good money. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5. We know that this is 100, okay? Okay, that's 100. I'm going to go ahead and just cash this in, and I'm going to just grab 100. Okay, I'm going to replace this 100 up here with the green. So there's your 1,000. There is 1, 2, 3, 4. 1. Let's see what we have here. We do have one. Well, wait a second here. We do have one more green, so we will cash that out. 50. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Oh, I did have enough. I'm a dummy. All right, so let's go ahead and cash this up to a green as well. I thought there should have been 75 out there. So there you go, guys. This is how I would end the video. All right, here's our initial 1,000. We made 1, 2, 3. I swear it looks deeper than that. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 75, 677 on the 4s and 10s video. And this is where you would see me come over to this screen, switch back over here and say, hey guys, that was incredible. Jeff won on the light side on a strategy that was really, 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 really crazy. 4s and 10s. One roller, we had 32 rolls. Incredible. And while I was doing this, guys, I would say, let me just show you something, guys. I want to show you a little bit about what some of the statistics roll. And I would come over here while I was talking to you, adjust what I'm doing with my KPI roll tracker, bring it down to show you some graphs and stuff while I'm talking to you. And I would be saying, wow, what a tremendous roll. That is just incredible. What a roll. We're going to take a look at some of the statistics. That is, if I can get this right. All right. So I'm getting mad. I would bring this down like this. You don't see what I'm doing. I would then enlarge the screen. I would say, let's go ahead and take a look at the roll tracker. And then this screen appears. I would be doing that all while I'm talking. So let's take a look here, guys. We had one shooter. It says shooter 2 because that would be the shooter coming up. He had 30 rolls. Wow, the rolls does count the 30 roll. The 7 out as 31. Troy must have changed that because there was a discussion amongst the Craps Nation group as to whether or not that 7 out counted as a roll. Wow, I just learned something during this video. How about that? So let's take a look at this. We're looking at this black section on the screen. That black section shows you in the dark blue, those would be the anticipated rolls for this amount based on the math, 36 combinations, for 31 rolls. That's what you would expect. The light blue is what we actually rolled. Look at the 4s, guys. We're even above on the 10s. And this was a 4 and 10 strategy. We never hit the aces. But look at the box numbers. We're really low on the box numbers. The 5s and 6 performed very well. The 8 underperformed. The 9 underperformed. Guys, these are some of the tools that we can use. We can talk about the gauges that are next to that, and talk about the shooters. In any event, I would switch back over to this screen, and I would say, man, that was an incredible roll, guys. That was the 4 and 10 strategy. We are definitely going to have to do this again at some point, because that could have just been a fluke thing to make $677. Wow. Anyway, this is where I say, give me a thumbs up if you like the video. Till next time, guys, this is Jeff. Don't go away because I'm going to come back. This is Jeff from Mid-Atlantic Craps. Till next time, be safe and play smart. Don't go away. I'm coming back. All right, so now we'd actually switch back over, and this is where I would end the video, and the video will be done with. But I really, guys, if you stayed this long, an hour and 4 minutes, I really appreciate it from the bottom of my heart to all my subscribers. You guys are my family. A lot of other YouTubers say that. We mean it. They mean it, I mean it, because without you, we wouldn't continue to provide this comments. I am gratified at the amount of emails I've got asking questions about some of the things I've done, suggesting some strategies that are really way out there. I'm going to get to them. I promise you, if I'm communicating with you, I will give you a timeline as to when I think I will get to them. I answer every email, midatlanticcraps@gmail.com. Put the comments below. Always check the descriptions below. And until next time, guys, this time I'm really going to get out of here. Just going to end with my logo, my main logo screen. Hey, guys, I appreciate it. God bless you. Till next time, this is Jeff from Mid-Atlantic Craps. As always, be safe and play smart. And yes, we're out of here. Thanks, guys.